The United States is warning that the stocks of semiconductor microchips have slumped, with major manufacturers now holding an average of just 5 days' supply. A shortage of this key material is already disrupting supplies of products, including electronics and also cars. Our business editor, Stephen Carroll, is here with more. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Haxie.
What exactly is the US government saying about all this?
Well, they've conducted a survey of around 150 companies that use semiconductor microchips and asking how this global shortage is affecting them. Now, these are things that are used in so many everyday products, smartphones, washing machines, televisions and cars as well. They're described as the brains of modern electronics, and they really have become so important, particularly during the pandemic, as demand has soared for electronic products. As we know, demand for semiconductor microchips up 17% according to this survey since 2019. At the same time, chip makers are operating at 90% or above capacity, which means they can't make many more than they're already doing. All of that has meant that the median stock that companies are holding of these microchips has fallen from 40 days in 2019 to just 5 days now. Companies are also saying that they don't expect the situation to get better in the next 6 months, and that's what the US government is really worried about. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo saying the disruption to supply, any disruption to supply now, could mean factories having to shut down, workers being furloughed, and more disruption to supply of other goods as well.
And the US government right now is particularly concerned about the impact on car makers.
They've been some of the most high-profile victims in all of this. Almost every car maker around the world has been affected. General Motors, just one that's had to shut down production in the US as a result. The Commerce Department says there were 8 million fewer cars produced in America in 2021, an estimated loss of revenue of $210 billion. The broader impact of this is less supply of cars, but an increase in demand for then second-hand cars, which of course already have all of the pieces that they need. Those prices, though, have gone up massively, and that's now a major contributor to inflation in the United States, which is at a 40-year high, as we've been talking about so much, which means it's an even bigger political concern for the US government.
And what exactly is the US planning to do about all this?
Washington has been saying for some time that more of these chips need to be made in the United States, and this survey coincides, just as time would have it, with the Democrats publishing a bill to try and get $52 billion worth of government funding for more research and production of semiconductors. That's a bill going through the House, or published by Democrats in the House, I should say. It's being framed as making the US more competitive with China. There are several major chip plants that are being built in the United States. Last week, Intel announced a $20 billion investment in Ohio to make what could be the world's largest chip-making complex. Joe Biden was there for that launch. In November, Samsung said they were going to build a plant in Texas for $17 billion. The problem is none of these plants will be operational that quickly. We're looking at probably 2024 for most of them, which means that this problem won't be improved anytime soon.
And this isn't a problem that only affects the US.
It's a global shortage. It's something that there's now a race on in many parts of the world to try and boost production of these semiconductor microchips. Production at the moment largely happens in Asia, Taiwan and South Korea, the big players when it comes to manufacturing. The world's largest chip maker is the Taiwanese company TSMC. For these particular kind of chips, they're investing $100 billion over 3 years in increasing their foundries, building plants in China and one in the US as well. The European Union has also says that it wants to try and double Europe's market share of semiconductors by 2030. There's investment coming from individual governments as well. France, for example, looking at putting billions of euros into this too, but they have a long way to go to catch up with their Asian rivals.
Stephen Carroll, thank you very much.